this is Dread from Epoch Builds, and in today's video topic, we will go over 5 builds I highly recommend for new players coming this patch cycle. Note that this will not include any Druid builds at all because we have no idea what they are actually going to be. I will have a link to a video where I go over the possible Druid builds I've theory crafted. I believe that will be good this patch in the description. Before we get into the video, if you end up enjoying the video, I'd suggest liking the video, as that's the best way to tell YouTube I am doing a good job and support the channel. Also, if you end up playing one of these builds, tell me down below which one. So these builds are tailored towards the new player experience and can work off of barely any gear in the beginning, but also have a lot of investment opportunity so you can keep playing them and improving them. All the links for the individual build guides will be in the description below. So for minion builds, I will recommend this one, as Forge minions performed insanely well this patch. And with legendary items coming into the fold, maybe there will be ways to improve it even further. The addition of Void Cleave, giving our minions almost 150 melee flat fire, allowed us to change our strategy in terms of weapon choice. We are forced to run a two-handed sword because of Void Cleave's requirements, but we end up benefiting in the end. Since Void Cleave has the ability to apply critical strike vulnerability stacks on the enemy, making it so our mini swords can reach to almost 100% crit chance. This combined with the tankiness of going hammer and anvil and the health regen setup, it means we don't die often. We also use Manifest Armor for a little more single target and Ring of Shields to help us protect our minions from stray projectiles. And this is by far one of the tankiest summoners in the game. Flameburst Warpath was untouched going into 8.4, meaning that this broken build can stay for a bit longer unless a hotfix comes around. This build is built around Holy Aura's ability to proc Flameburst on enemies after a certain amount of melee hits. We then of course use Warpath to proc Flameburst. It has a lot of strong interactions, including but not limited to each enemy proccing Flameburst can shotgun, making clear feel super smooth as butter. The ridiculous 100% fire pen node inside Warpath applying to Flameburst, and having a large amount of leech to keep it topped off even in the scariest of encounters. This build is easily made in a paper-thin budget and has large amounts of growth, including being able to abuse Wings of Argentus in the late game. I can 100% recommend this to anybody who wants an easy time from the time they set up Flameburst and until 300 to 400 plus corruption. This is also a good arena pusher if you are so inclined. So when Poison Lich was nerfed in patch 8.3, we thought the DoT Lich archetype was dead. But with the buff to Spirit Plague, allowing it to scale flat necrotic damage per intelligence, it means we now have a build that can push far past 400 corruption smoothly. And to note, this is the first patch in a long time where Lich hasn't been nerfed. This also uses skills like Hungering Souls cast from Dreadshade and Drain Life for single target. And with the ability of Spirit Plague absolutely demolishing trash, means you can have a very easy time and relax, watch some YouTube videos, and have a cup of joe while playing, because this build pretty much makes it easy to play. This build also has a large amount of room for growth in terms of gear investment, as the more intelligence you stack, the better. This also benefits heavily from the legendary system, as a legendary Marina's Lost Soul can have insane potential to push this build even further. So Flurry was slightly bugged last patch, but even after the fix, Flurry Bladedancer will be one of the tankiest builds of the patch. Being able to down Orbis in seconds, combined with the insane tankiness of dodge, glancing blow and block, and with the insane investment potential of uniques like Corsair Set Hood or the Bastion of Honor, it means even when you reach endgame with this build, you will have plenty of avenues to improve your character. This plus being able to choose either bleed or poison, and being able to weapon swap from a tanky set to a damage set. This makes it a very versatile choice for any new player and easy for you to phase tank almost anything in the game. If you like to play melee builds, this is the build for you. The last build on this list, but not the least, is Aspect of the Shark Beastmaster. Aspect of the Shark was nerfed in patch 8.3, but due to some changes, it still dominates the game as a quick and easy monolith farmer. And with how it scales and how all your critical strike chance comes from skills and not gear, it means it is very easy to get up and going from nothing. This is also a build that benefits heavily from the legendary system, as having double legendary undisputeds could in theory raise your DPS through the roof. We also made changes like adding an Earthquake to help assist on single target, and because of the large amount of mana gained back from swipe, it means we can almost spam EQ off cooldown on bosses. This is also a fun build thanks to the fact that we get to run a solo wolf, so it fits the fantasy perfectly of a man and his dog against the world. Definitely a build I enjoyed, and I bet you'll enjoy too if you give it a chance. Alright guys, that's the builds for this video. If you got this far in the video, consider subscribing, as that's the best way to keep up with all the new last Epoch builds coming this patch, and trust me, there is a lot of them. With all that being said, this has been Dread from Epoch Builds, off to create more builds.